back to my channel. I am Madeline Vaughn. I'm up very early. So my publisher sent back feedback on my newest book. So I'm gonna look at that today. I've got a couple emails from a few of the betas. So I'm gonna look at their feedback today. I'm drinking coffee because I'm not prepared for any of this. You really hope that they like it, and that's really all you hope for. You hope that somebody wants to read your book outside of yourself and your family that probably feels obligated. So we're gonna see what they say. Let's take a look. If you hear all the noises, I've got a heater going so it's frigid here this morning, a dishwasher going, and I'm making breakfast for my family for when they wake up. Okay, so right off the bat, suggestions from the publisher are pretty much similar to what I always hear. I try to get all my ideas down and written and reach a word count. I go through it a couple times on my own before I send it off to anybody else. Go through it with my alpha team, which I did, and still I will get feedback on show don't tell. Even if I think I've done a really good job, I've definitely improved from the first 5 books for sure as far as that goes, but there's always room for improvement. I'm always going to get feedback about it. So that's the very first thing, show don't tell. The person I work with primarily at my publishing company, which is Raw Riot Publishing, and I will leave their link below if you're interested. She is very quick. They all are. They're all experts in this area. They all are also authors. So that is very cool to me to have somebody that does this for a living to provide that feedback. So wonderful. Comments from the publisher. Let's see. Okay, so she always says a lot, which is great. It's always a learning experience for me every single time. And if you're not learning every single time, then I don't know, I would get bored. Wants me to focus on some pacing with a couple different scenes. I do love that she'll say, you know, hey, look at this is what you currently have, and then she'll give suggestions, which I absolutely love. That, thank you. Okay, again with the show not tell, there is some internal emotional monologue that is pretty important, and it's borderline telling rather than showing. So she just said, watch this, gave an example that there's some transitions between a few different scenes, and she wants to clarify the time jumps and build a little bit of a bridge between them. So good feedback. What else? Okay, there was a couple areas. Okay, that makes sense. There was a couple areas that it was redundant, and I am terrible at this. I always try to catch it when I go back through my read-throughs. Apparently I didn't catch all of them. So there was an area where I said, I nodded, letting her know I understood. Just, I nodded is sufficient. So I know better. I'm still gonna do it, and I need to catch it, and that's on me. Okay, perfect. So now we look at all the redlined items on the manuscript. Those were just feedback in my email, things that I should really watch out for. And now we're gonna go through and see how much she tore it apart, which is always a little scary. So let's see what happens. My computer is taking forever to load, which is fantastic. So I'm gonna look at the publisher's email first and go through that. I will then review the beta feedback I got, because the publisher, her feedback is going to be, I already know, way more in depth, because it's her job and she is very good at it. Look at her. Sorry, I'm moving this over to a different screen. Maybe. There we go. She added an image of my title on the return, so that's kind of cool. That is going to be on the book cover. Okay, so she added track changes enabled, so got it. We're gonna see. Thank you, Shay, for putting in the copyright information, because never get that right with everything. So thank you so much for adding that. That was on my list of things to do. My dedication. Bless you for adding the table of contents, because that was also on my list of things to do. Okay, I gotta figure out, hold on, let me look at her email really quick, because she usually says to accept changes. Okay, those are suggestions. She didn't have it on there. Okay, let me move this back over. Sorry, I've got 2 different screens I'm working off of, so. I'm changing to voiceover because now my family's up and moving around and getting breakfast together that I made for them earlier. I start going through the red line items, and at first it might seem like a lot, but when you think about it, there's 2 prologues, 2 epilogues, and 80,000 words overall. So everything she redlined totally makes sense and does need to be reviewed, updated, removed, or something of the sort. Something I enjoy while I'm going through all of the redlining edits is the comments that she'll leave throughout the manuscript. It could be something like, "This made me laugh out loud," or "This portion is extremely relatable," something along those lines that she'll leave while I'm going through this process of reviewing items that I need to update. It just breaks up the monotony of the entire process, and I really love that she does that. My review process will take me several days, but today I recorded 3 hours of me editing and my reactions, and then consolidated it down to just a few minutes to make it acceptable for YouTube. Once I finish accepting the changes that she suggested and making my own updates, I'll save it and send it back to her. From there, we'll repeat the process one more time. She'll review it, make updates, send it back to me. I'll review, accept, and or make updates, and then send it back to her for one final viewing. Once we agree on everything, then she will format it and get it ready for publishing. From there, I will send out a request for ARC readers to add to my ARC team, and they will get the almost ready to go version of what we've been working on. I say almost ready to go version because there is always an opportunity to improve the book one last time before it's ready for publishing. Something I've left out are the amount of times that I will read each manuscript in between the times I send it back and forth. I've probably read this 20 times before it even went to her, and I've still managed to miss items that should have been caught, but because I'm the one that wrote it, sometimes my eyes just move past it, and it happens. The expected release for this book is mid-January, so we're going to try really hard to keep to that timeline, but things do happen. As I mentioned earlier, this video is over 3 hours, but I did trim it down to just a few minutes. I did not get to the beta emails, so we will save that for next week's video. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit subscribe to follow along on my writing journey. Thank you.